Hello and welcome back to my studio. I'm Gina, and in today's video I'm going to be starting to work on the exterior of this project. This project is the So it was about this point that I realized that I can't actually start on the exterior until I've actually finished the interior of the project. And one of the main pieces that I needed to finish was the ceiling. And it was going to be a lot easier for me to be able to complete that before adding on the roof detail, was to be able to put the ceiling across both the library and the apothecary in one piece. So probably going to be using mat board or something like that. So I'm going to sandwich that between the roof detail that I'm going to add in. And also there were some interior pieces that I needed to finish, so some door trim and some other pieces as well that was going to be a lot easier for me to get to without the ceiling and the roof on. So it just made a lot of sense to actually finish off this bit first. It was sort of like that 80-20 rule, like 80% of the job is finished and it's okay to move on to something else. But I really do need to pause on the exterior just at the moment and just finish off that. It's actually going to help me in the long run anyway, because some of the detailing that I want to have on the exterior, that I've got planned for the exterior, I really need it all into place. I can't kind of do it in pieces, so it's all going to have to be done beforehand. But that's okay. Let's get into finishing off the interior and creating some details for the ceiling. So you may have noticed from the thumbnail that I'm going to be making a pressed tin ceiling, and I'm going to be doing this by using some photocopy paper and some tin foil. And the paper helps strengthen the tin foil and keeps the impressions in place that have been made by this embossing folder. I'm going to use a highly technical technique of standing on the folder to press the pattern into the tin foil. This technique is quite effective and gives a nicely detailed piece to work with. Now to repeat this several times. Then I glue these into place on a piece of mat board, which I'm using across both the library and the apothecary. So it's quite a large piece of mat board. Then to seal up the edges and give the paint something to stick to, a quick coat of Mod Podge will do the trick. To begin the painting, I dab on some red oxide to start to give some colour variations, but then I realised in the next step this was completely redundant. Apply a generous coat of metallic copper over the whole ceiling, trying not to press too hard so I don't remove any of the details in the foil. I come back over the edges with a little brown mixed into the copper. And then to finish it off, a light touch of gold in the middle to add to the colour variation so that it's not all one flat colour. So once dry, I can start to add in some of the details, like these ceiling roses and then also the lights. Moving on to the architraves, these are the same as the windows, which are simply created with a couple of layers of mat board. This little door I created off camera. I do need to make another one, so I'll get some footage of that so you can see how I made it. These bits I'm adding in now are some skirting boards for the mezzanine. I try a couple of angles of the camera, but it's a little hard to see, so sorry about that. So now the exciting part of putting the ceiling into place. Oh my god, look at those chandeliers. They are so awesome. Some more decorative elements now with installing the crown moulding. So there we go, it's all finished and I am absolutely stoked with how it's turned out. I wasn't too sure about doing a pressed metal ceiling in this particular build, but then I just decided that because it's a miniature and I'm not necessarily keeping anything to any time period, it made sense to have something that was reasonably flat, that wasn't going to take up too much room or hide too many other details that I've already put into the project. So I'm still yet to hook up the chandeliers, so I just need to add in some additional wiring and hook up a battery. But the ones in the library are obviously working and they look fantastic. I'm really stoked with how they've turned out. Now I can move on to starting the exterior, and this is the piece of MDF which is going to be the roof detail, and there's some wires and bits up the top here that I still need to sandwich in. Once I've got all the wiring done, I'll actually be able to fit that on, and then that'll be absolutely done. The only thing left to do for here is just to paint up these columns, but I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with them for the exterior. That's why I've just left them as they are at the moment. I'll either paint them the same color as the interior, so either brown or green on the other side, but I can decide that at a later stage. I'm probably going to put plaster on these, I think. So I may actually even put plaster on the front face here. So there's a couple of things that I don't go into any detail on. One is the architraves around the door, and the other one is the crown moulding, which both I have actually created in the previous videos. So please go ahead and watch that if you want to know any other details about it. I'll put a link in the description below. The other one I haven't gone into much detail on is creating the interior door. It was a little bit of an experiment, to be honest, and I wasn't too sure whether it was going to turn out. I may actually even repeat it for the main door. I was thinking about having something with glass in it, and I need a way of replicating that. So if I do that, then I'll repeat it. Otherwise, I might just create another video for it. So watch this space for something like that coming up. But I didn't get any video of that, of creating that door either. I kind of just potted away over a couple of nights, just trialing a few things out and testing a few things out. So it was a wee bit of a test piece, but it actually came out really well. So I'm actually going to use it in the project. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that bell notification so you know when the next video is coming up. And I've also included a couple extra videos at the end that I think that you might like. And so that's all for me in this video this week, and I will see you in the next one.